Hello, I'm Laura Sobola, a technologist working in data science consultancy Elucidata, and I want to discuss the unintended consequences of ethics. Consumers and executives of AI companies are increasingly worried about the ethics issues surrounding the use of AI, especially in healthcare. In my opinion, these issues are close to the concept of informed consent as it is used in medicine. When someone's consent is requested, they must be able to make a decision aided by the information, including about the probability of risks and benefits. It is not just a pragmatic calculation, however. Personal values must be considered as well. Consent should be voluntary, it must not be forced. But what it also means is that someone has the right to refuse the treatment, even against the advice of professionals. Immediately, one notices two issues when trying to align this with AI. First of all, algorithms can be black boxes even to their creators. And with our data increasingly diffused across the internet, we have fewer options for refusal to participate. So what about regulation in this area? GDPR considers for informed consent only one of the legal bases for processing data. Medical data, however, is considered a special case with additional burdens on the data processors. Currently, the only way to remove your data, the only way to ensure that your data is not used in an algorithm is to remove it from a data set. But if you end up changing your mind after a data set has been produced or when the algorithm is trained, removing it or changing your collaboration might be impossible. So what has the society been thinking about this? More than 80 AI ethics frameworks have been published recently from contributors ranging from governments to private companies. Professor Floridi has observed that these ethics frameworks end up converging around the principles of bioethics, and he argues that this is because both fields are innovative and this leads to the same problems. And the four governing principles of bioethics are beneficence, do good, non-maleficence, do no harm, autonomy, the freedom to determine your own actions, as well as justice, to be impartial and fair. And while these are, of course, important principles, there is one more AI innovators must consider. Algorithms have to be transparent and understandable so that the basis of their decisions can be challenged by the people affected by them. And due to the real-life consequences of these decisions, accountability is important as well. I tried to understand if informed consent is a mindset that aligns with the current thinking. So I aligned these principles with two of the AI ethics frameworks published recently, one in digital health, while the other one had broader cross-industry focus. Stanford and partners published 10 guiding principles for digital health, intended to alleviate potential conflicts between individuals' privacy and public health. So, unsurprisingly, these do align quite well with informed consent and bioethics. There is a strong support for the rights of the patients to refuse to use a digital product against their wishes, as well as a requirement to share information about risks and benefits that come from the use of digital healthcare data. However, and it might be that this is because this is a digital healthcare framework, there was a missing piece, which is the requirement to explain exactly how an algorithm is working, which is a common practice for more AI-specifically focused frameworks. AI in the UK, however, is a UK government inquiry into the economic, ethical and social implications from advances in AI. And they produced 5 overarching principles which are intended to function as cross-industry set of conduct. These principles state that AI should be developed for common good, be understandable and fair, and should not be used to diminish privacy or hurt human beings. And of course, this covers most of the bioethics principles. The report also puts strong emphasis on explainability of AI products to build public's trust and confidence, as well as to give them a chance to opt out in case there are some doubts about it. But what if the only way to opt out of a facial recognition algorithm is to give up flying? To me, autonomy means genuine choice, not adaptation and acceptance of default future and options. It means the provision of alternatives and a way to control your participation without suffering discrimination. We've made this mistake before. Plastic and pollution now fill our Earth due to designating certain technologies as a default and building and adapting around them. And therefore, I would really like to end this talk with a question. How do we design this technology to provide meaningful ways to control our participation? Thank you.